Hello Tongalers. Welcome to lesson 3 of our 4-part Pitching to Brands educational series. I'm your host, Mitchell Block, and in this module we're going to be exploring the variety of tools you have at your disposal to effectively communicate your creative vision to a brand, from mood boards to AV scripts, pitch videos, and more. Before a pitch is ever greenlit, it will be seen by a number of people, both from the creative and business side of the brand's internal team. Your treatment should work to ensure that everyone who sees it comes away with a clear understanding of what the final product is going to look like, feel like, and how it's ultimately going to support their content goals, whether that's to increase brand awareness or drive sales. No matter which communication tool you decide to use in your pitch, you should always make sure you've accomplished getting the message across and how you're going to do it. As you may have gathered from our previous modules, there's really no one-size-fits-all approach to creating a great pitch. In fact, there are many ways to effectively communicate your ideas to a brand. However, knowing who you're pitching to will help you decide which of the tools work best for a given project. Know your audience is one of the very first things we're taught as creators, and it applies to brands as well. Are you pitching to an accounting firm who's working on their very first awareness spot? Or are you pitching to a Gen Z social-first lifestyle brand that's constantly pushing out content? The latter may already speak your creative language and require a less cut and dry approach to pitch materials. Also, consider the type of content you're going to be creating. For testimonials or branded documentaries, storyboards and AV scripts really are not that useful. However, you can still provide a treatment with an outline for the intended beats of the stories you hope to capture. All right, let's talk about setting the mood. Not that kind of mood. I'm talking about a mood board. A mood board is a great tool for communicating your visual style. It's a collection of curated images, taking up no more than 1 or 2 slides of your pitch, and it's a perfect choice when pitching a creative idea that's more visually than narrative driven, like colorful pop art inspired Instagram stories or a mercurial perfume ad that has no discerning plot line, just mood. Through the images you select, you're establishing a visual language for your project. Whatever the mood you're setting is, here are a few helpful tips for making the most out of your visual display. As a whole, the images you select should feel aesthetically and tonally cohesive when laid out together. Nothing should feel wildly out of place. In this example, the creator does a good job. One helpful mind trick is to think, could this image actually be a still frame from the video I plan to create? Avoid clutter. Don't overwhelm your audience with too many images. Be selective and purposeful with each one. Avoid images from competitor brands, especially ones that include logos. Mood boards help you quickly communicate the tone and visual aesthetic of your concept without too much effort, and images can be sourced from your own portfolio or even from a stock image library. That said, don't rely heavily on images throughout your pitch. Be sure to use your words as well. Add context where needed. Be concise, but use descriptive language that helps immerse those reading your pitch into the sights and sounds of your creative idea. And also use your words to show that you understand the brand's goals by addressing those questions directly head on. You can even repurpose some of the language from the brief to help make those connections apparent. Of course, mood boards don't tell us the full story. Sometimes we need to know the full story to know it's the right idea. That's where storyboards come in. If your audience needs a bit more narrative detail and a play-by-play approach, storyboards are a great tool for presenting your creative concept in a more linear fashion. Though they do require a bit more time and energy up front, storyboards can be incredibly effective in aligning everyone, the creatives and business peeps alike, on what to expect. The storyboard is a literal shot-by-shot breakdown of your video. Each image conveys not only what's happening on screen, but the camera angle, camera movement, and how everything comes together frame by frame. In the interest of time, you can, of course, cheat a little and just cover the main beats of the story, or consider using photo boards where you repurpose existing images or stock photos to illustrate what you're trying to accomplish. Plus, there's so many great tools now on the market that make storyboarding really fast and easy. So check out our community resources page for special promotions on some of these products. If you don't have time to go frame by frame, an audio-visual script, better known as an AV script, is another great tool at your disposal. AV scripts split the dialogue and the visuals into 2 separate columns. The left column contains a running description of what's happening on screen, and the right column Includes the dialogue and audio cues that sync up with the visuals on the left-hand side. This is a great option when pitching on projects that are more voiceover driven and rely on a variety of visual media, or when you wish to provide the brand with more than one option on a creative execution. AV scripts are also useful when pitching against a suite of content and you need to quickly show how you'd optimize each asset for what's happening on screen for different platforms. This leads us into another important topic. When does it make sense to provide a brand with more than one creative option within a single pitch? Providing options to a brand can show that you're thinking strategically about their messaging and you're flexible with your creative approach. You're not married to a single concept, but rather open to feedback and collaboration. In this example, the creator provided Credit Sesame with 4 different sample scripts, all revolving around the same call to action provided in the brief. This provided the brand with a few distinct variations on their messaging and allowed the creator not to throw all their eggs in one basket. In order for this to work, the execution should have a common thread and tonality. If the options are wildly different and require very different creative approaches, then submit them as separate pitches. Remember, on Tongal you can pitch up to 5 times on most projects, so don't feel like you have to go all in on one single idea. Though we love being a sounding board to creators, unfortunately there's no such thing as a soundboard when it comes to pitching. Sound is an often overlooked ingredient of the secret sauce. When I started my ASMR creator journey on YouTube, I was entirely focused on visuals. This led me to having to pile in years of sound knowledge into my brain as quickly as possible to try to get my audio on par with my visuals. Don't be like me. Consider it unimportant until it's too late. It's a bad idea. When describing a video to the brand, use words that touch on both the sights and sounds of your creative. Well-constructed sound design is great for conveying the mood of a certain scene and helps move the audience towards an emotional reaction. Beyond painting a picture with literature, this can be commonly seen with the music and sound design. If you're providing a pitch video, this can be a great way to incorporate some of those elements of audio flair. Make sure you're maintaining a cohesive tone through the visuals and sound of your pitch, as it will help drive the response you're looking for and help speak to your abilities of portraying the tone the brand is looking for in their deliverables. And last, but certainly not least, that brings us to the option of submitting a pitch video. On most Tongal projects, you're going to see the option to submit a video along with your pitch. Why pass up on this opportunity? Pitch videos work for all audiences and brands love them. This is your chance to introduce yourself and give them a sneak peek into who they're going to be working with. Humanizing yourself can be really helpful, especially if you're using a screen name or a company name instead of your real name. If you're camera shy, it's not a problem. You can use this pitch video as an opportunity to create an animatic or proof of concept video that further illustrates your creative concept. Check out our pitch video gallery to see how creators have made the most of this opportunity. And that about sums up the many tools you can use to communicate your creative vision. We try to give you as much information in our briefs as possible, but it always helps to research the brand and get a sense of who you're pitching to. To get started, check out our helpful templates linked in the video description. That concludes Module 3 of our Pitching to Brands series. Join us next time for Module 4 and how to brand yourself.